What's up, fam? Welcome back to another exciting edition of Keith Walker Books Reads. Today, I'm going to read a poem written by Gwendolyn Brooks, one of my favorite poems of hers. It is titled We Real Cool. This poem was originally published in 1960 in a poetry collection called The Bean Eaters. Like I said, it's one of my favorite poems. It's really short. Once I get done reading it, I'll offer an analysis of it. All right, so here we go. We Real Cool. The pool players, 7 at the Golden Shovel. We real cool. We left school. We lurk late. We strike straight. We sing sin. We thin gin. We jazz June. We die soon. All right, so that's that poem. I told you it was a short poem. It was a short read, but it's very interesting. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at is actually the beginning of the poem. The beginning where it says the pool players 7 at the Golden Shovel, that is actually part of the poem. And it also gives you insight of who the speaker in the poem is, because it says we, more than one. So the speaker of the poem is going to be the pool players. And the 7 at the Golden Shovel, this is where the pool players hang out. Interesting thing about the name of the pool hall where they hang out is Golden Shovel. I know it gets looked over a lot, but that's like a contradiction right there, because the pool hall, the Golden Shovel, when you think of golden, that's something obviously expensive, something extravagant. But then you have shovel, which is usually something that's used for menial tasks. Nothing happens with a shovel that's extravagant at all. So it's a contradiction just in that. And I think that for them to play at the Golden Shovel just kind of leads you into the contradiction that we're about to experience in a poem, because when we look at the poem, obviously we're talking about some kids who are basically rebelling against society. They do a lot of bad things wrong, and for most of the poem, it kind of glorifies their behavior, because it's like all of these things they're doing is like pretty awesome if you're into that lifestyle, until the very end, and then you get the consequences of that. So when you're reading it, the first thing you're gonna notice is the poetic devices. We got the repetition. That was the pretty easiest one. We got the we. I think it's in there like 8 times. So the repetition of the word we. Also, you have a lot of alliteration in here. You got the lurk late, strike straight. Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound. So you got the L sound, the lurk late, the S sound, strike straight, sing, sin, and things like that. All right, so as far as what these pool players are doing, they think they're cool. They say they left school, so they dropped out. They lurk late, meaning they stay up late at night lurking, probably doing something sinister. They strike straight. That's referring to fighting. They sing sin. Singing sin is referring to they're doing sinful things that are obviously bad, but they sing it, so they're proud of it. They're proud of the bad things they're doing. We thin gin. They drink, alcohol. We jazz June. All right, so I think when they say we jazz June, that's probably one of the most debated things in the song. People don't rarely understand what she means by that. In my opinion, I think we jazz June, meaning you have fun in June when typically kids are out of school, so June time spend a lot of time dancing, jazz music, things like that. But for these particular kids, they already dropped out of school, so it's like their whole life is June. So they're doing a lot of fun. And then obviously when you get to the end of the song, all of these things they're doing, all of this behavior, which, we're rebelling against society, doing all these bad things, it leads to we die soon. So the glorification that they had at the beginning of the song, it apparently ends in a consequence, which is common. The reason why I really love this poem is because even though it was written in 1960 or published in 1960, it could have been published today, because these same things are happening right now. You still got gangsters rebelling against society, doing bad things, staying out late, fighting, drinking, all that stuff. And invariably, it still ends in the same thing, which in our society today is either the penitentiary or the cemetery. All right, so that's my take on We Real Cool. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button and post a comment. I love what you think. I love to hear what you thought of this poem. And you can put a suggestion in there if you want me to highlight somebody else's poem next. I would love to hear from you. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, This will be a great time to do it. Hit the subscribe button. And also, when you hit the subscribe button, if you're in YouTube, there's a little bell next to the subscribe button. If you hit that bell, it'll give you a notification whenever I post something new, so you'll always be in a loop. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you next time.